Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Cowboys add to their running back room, signing four-time Pro Bowler 29-year-old Dalvin Cook, who will ramp up initially on the practice squad to familiarize himself with the system. Houston Texans place linebacker Christian Harris on the injured reserve, designated to return with a lingering calf injury, and will miss at least the first 4 weeks of the season, while the Astros blew out the Phillies in their series finale, avoiding getting swept.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be doing that, whether that's on 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, or if you're watching via our YouTube app. Appreciate you. Go ahead and hit like, subscribe, get the notifications, be a part of the Noti Gang. Appreciate everybody for rolling through tonight. It has been a heck of a day when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. We had CeeDee Lamb speaking late last night after practice, talking about his contract and who he wants as quarterback. And then Jerry Jones comes out and starts talking about the additions of Zeke and Cook and what it means for the run game. Now Dak, that CeeDee's done, playing with no quarterbacks under contract, sports betting, kind of just ran the gamut there for about 45 minutes up there at the Star in Frisco as they're getting set to now break camp and get ready for the regular season coming up here in just about a week and a half. And earlier today on the Blitz, since CD is done, will Dak now get done? And the Blitz had a conversation about what it all means now that the CD contract is officially done for Dak Prescott.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the Cowboys are going to do or not going to do with number 4.
The fact that CD is done now, you can focus and prioritize on Dak Prescott if the Cowboys want to do that.
If Dak wants to do that.
And if Dak wants to do that. I know Michael Irvin wants to get Dak Prescott signed.
I hope.
You hope.
I
but
hope.
You know?
No. Let me finish. That was what they call a strategic pause to make you draw in for a moment. I hope. And then wait. And everybody draws in. I hope people now back the hell up. That's what I said. You've seen what you needed to see. You've seen enough of what we have behind him. We've seen enough to know now. Stop playing. Dak Prescott is our best chance to win a Super Bowl. I know all these shows out here, they love the father. They like to talk about it because we put eye gates on their TV. But the reality is, Cowboy fans, stop falling for that. Dak Prescott is our best chance to get a Super Bowl. Now, I hope that this team understands that also and make sure they get behind him and believe in him.
Huh. Boy, you're screwed as a Cowboy fan, aren't you?
Well,
if Dak Prescott's your best chance, wow, it's going to be a long year.
Well, and I think what he's saying, and I don't disagree with it because essentially what I've been saying, he keeps you around the rim. And with no plan in place to replace him, do you really want to start over? And he plays at a high level in the regular season. He's got to be able to, at some point, get it done in the postseason. And what Michael Irvin is saying is you at least have to give yourself a chance, and he is your best chance. Now you've got CD locked up. Do you pay a wide receiver that kind of money if you don't have a quarterback that can get him the ball. So maybe the thinking is, all right, now that CD is locked up for the foreseeable future, it's time for Dak to get locked up. Now, CD Lamb said yesterday he wants Dak Prescott around for another contract. Give that man his money.
It's amazing, bro. If you go look at our numbers together, they're at the top of the charts. And I have no doubt that they're going to get a deal done. And we all know that I want Dak here. Jerry wants Dak here too. So let's just get this under control, kill the speculations. Let's go win.
There was one guy that he left out of that.
Yeah.
He wants him here. Jerry wants him here. What does Dak want?
Well, he didn't say. And I know Dak wants to be here. That would have been the natural next
you would
thing
think
to come out. I mean, yeah, we know Jerry wants him. I know I want him because he's looking around going, well, I feel bad for Justin. He's got who throwing him the ball?
Wow.
CD talked yesterday about all the time they spent in the Dak yard throwing on that Prescott football field. I mean, that's
Great
his
story.
guy. But he didn't say that he knows Dak wants to be here.
Didn't say that.
So we went back to July 25th, beginning of training camp in Oxnard, when Dak Prescott was asked about his future with the Dallas Cowboys.
It's a two-way street that they have once, I have once. I think I've deserved that, understanding that this is a business. And obviously I want to be here. Talking about growing up, this is where I've become a man. So, but at the end of the day, it's a business. And, when I'm going to say, I want to be here, but when you look up, all the great quarterbacks I watched played for other teams. So my point in saying that is that's not something to fear. That may be a reality for me one day, may not be my decision. So that's the freedom that I have is be where your feet are, make the most of it, be confident in yourself, make your team better. I love my teammates. I love that locker room. I love everything about being out here in Oxnard and being a Dallas Cowboy. So that's what allows me to be free and focused and understand that when time comes, who knows what comes. As I said, I've been through a lot of adversity personally, that it's about, being thankful for where you are, hugging and loving on your loved ones and taking it one day at a time and handling the rest when it approaches.
I love all of that. What I get the feeling what's happening is that, and I will give you credit for this. You've been saying this. Jerry's got a number he's not going to go above. Dak's got a number that I have a feeling is higher than what Jerry's willing to go above, and they're stuck right there. And nothing is moving. The wheels are spinning. But look, if I'm Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott is under contract right now.
Yep.
He's got a year left on his contract. Play it. Let's go play. You got your wide receiver. We've added now another running back. We're ready to go. Let's go. Go prove it. You want a big contract. You want $60 million a year. Then go out and show me that you're deserving of that in the postseason. Let's get back to the playoffs and let's make a run. Let's shock the world, and then I'll pay you whatever you want.
I agree with what you just said, but I live in the real world. And while he is under contract, and in the real world, you would have to go to work.
Sure.
Or you go on strike. Well, he's not going to go on strike. The problem with Jerry and that he's facing, the go prove it, play this year out and go prove it. He can get a deal done now.
Yeah.
If he wants Dak Prescott to be the guy. And that's the big if. He says, and Steven says, they want him to be the guy. But until pen to paper, who knows? The offers we don't know about. They've done a really good job of not leaking what those offers have been. So we don't know if they're just ridiculous, disrespectful, or whatnot.
Or ridiculous asks for on the other side.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, we don't know. I do believe Jerry has a walkaway price when he talks about things he can't afford. I also know especially with the Cowboys, deadlines make deals. If Dak gives them a deadline to get a deal done, they'll figure it out by that deadline. But if Jerry, the fire that he's playing with Dak Prescott is if he goes into this year and has another incredible regular season, and quite frankly, I don't care what he does in the postseason when it comes to contracts, because NFL contracts are proven to be not playoff result driven. So if he has another year like that and become a free agent, he can explore free agency for the first time in his NFL career. And I think a lot of guys like that opportunity. And I think ultimately he'll end up with more money than what he's asking for right now if he becomes a free agent. So if he is not married to being a Dallas Cowboy, yeah, play this year out, become a free agent, and then you make a decision. Do you take the offer from Dallas if one is still on the table, or do you look at the other teams that are there? Jerry can end all of that and not have uncertainty about the most important position going into next season, because what do you wait till he decides in March, or do you start working on plan B? I think if he hits free agency, you start working on your next quarterback this season, whether it's through a trade or however it is, you need to figure it out. But if he becomes a free agent, he's gone from Dallas.
Let me ask you a question, because we're talking about regular season success.
Yep.
And it's hard to compare apples to apples when it comes to this. But we always talk about guys like Trevor Lawrence, who got a big deal, Justin Herbert, who got a big deal. Jordan Love just got a big deal. All of these guys are young guys. They're younger than Dak. It's their first contract, big contract. Do you honestly think that if those guys' contracts come up again and they have not proven themselves, that they'll get another contract?
Yes.
You do.
And
by the same team.
Well, do you?
I completely disagree with that.
Do you have any doubt that Buffalo, when Josh Allen is due, is going to get another contract from Buffalo?
I don't have any confidence that will happen.
So you think he would change teams?
I think at some point you have to stop beating your head against the wall and start over.
All right,
figure it out.
Let me ask you this. Aaron Rodgers, who ultimately did leave Green Bay, but at 40.
Yes.
So in his 30s, while still playing great football, not winning Super Bowls, kept getting more and more money from the Green Bay Packers until they finally drafted a guy and said, we've got to prepare for life after Aaron Rodgers.
Correct.
But Aaron got multiple contracts in his 30s.
He did.
And then they drafted his replacement toward the end of his 30s. Dak just turned 30. Is that a better comparison for you?
I think he's 31, isn't he?
31, 30. It's not 38.
It's a year.
All right.
It's like dog years in the NFL.
All right. But again, guy was second in MVP voting last year and put up ridiculous numbers. I know.
Terrific.
But again, Aaron Rodgers won a bunch of MVPs
he
after
did,
he
but
turned
he went
30.
to a bunch of NFC championship games too, didn't he?
Sure, but
he won MVP awards, didn't he?
But he didn't win a Super Bowl, and that's all that really matters.
I'm not sure that's all that really matters. If you're a Cowboy fan and you haven't been to the NFC championship game in 30 years, that matters. You got to find a guy that can get you there.
I don't disagree with that, but I think if you got there and lost, we would like they were in Green Bay. And Green Bay was like, man, that Super Bowl was so long ago, yet we keep doing all this, even with home field advantage in the NFC Championship game and not getting it done. And then finally they did, but late 30s with Aaron Rodgers, if that's a better comp for you than Trevor Lawrence.
And here's the reality. They're both right. And sometimes you got to stop beating your head against the wall. But you also have to plan for life after Dak to do that. Because ripping the Band-Aid off and not having a plan of succession and hoping that you get the Jets have been looking for a quarterback forever. Everyone they draft turns out to be god-awful. Look at the Minnesota Vikings. Outside of Kirk Cousins, who they signed, by the way, didn't draft him. They've been looking to draft a guy to replace Kirk Cousins forever. Still didn't happen. Chicago may have finally found their answer, but how long has Chicago been trying to draft quarterbacks to find them? At least teams like Green Bay draft and prepare for the future, and they know what they have before they move on, or have a pretty good idea with what they've seen in practice. That's the most strategic way to go about things. This is Extra Innings with Pledge. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 941 FM, sasportstar.com. Stay tuned. Coming up, we've got tickets to go see 30 Seconds to Mars coming Friday to the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. Of course, you can get your tickets at livenation.com, or you can just stay tuned and win them right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. As we come back, the Morning Huddle was also talking about CD's contract and whether or not Dak Prescott should be back. Surprise, surprise. It's going to be an ongoing theme with today's show here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, Dallas Cowboys signed a Pro Bowl quality running back, or at least he was 5 years ago. We'll talk about it.
Also, it's Thursday, which means week 1 of college football. We'll get into some of these games too. Party starts at 6 right here on 94.1.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Your neighbors at El Guacamole Mexican Grill on 25020 Blanco Road are ready to serve you breakfast or lunch fresh, made to order Mexican dishes or cold drinks on tap. Order today or visit El Guacamole Mexican Grill on 25020 Blanco Road.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play, like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
It's Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate y'all for rolling it through with me tonight. Don't forget, we got tickets, courtesy of Live Nation, to go see Friday's show up at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater in Austin for 30 Seconds to Mars. So stay tuned if you want a chance to win those tickets right here on Extra Innings with Pledge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. So everybody's wondering if Dak will get done. Well, the Morning Huddle was talking about what CD wants. And CD said that he and Jerry want to get Dak Prescott done. And should that have any effect on whether or not the Cowboys eventually give in and give Dak Prescott his contract?
CD Lamb. He might buy himself a new lime green Porsche. I don't know.
He doesn't have to lease anymore. You can go ahead and put that money in. Go ahead and buy it.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to know about was what is he doing to be prepared? Because I think that's the big question is how's he gonna look when he gets on the field for a guy who missed training camp? What have you been up to? You just been playing video games or what, CD?
I feel like I'm not missing a beat. Shout out Sharif for getting me mentally, physically prepared for these moments. The 2 hours outside in the Florida weather was not pleasant, but I appreciate it for it because obviously coming back in the indoors,
Stop touching the
I can breathe a little bit more. Physically prepared for these moments again. I'm ready to go to battle.
Well, I hope he's right. I mean, I know he spent a couple hours outside in Florida. That's not quite like running through a full training camp. But he did say that he got some work in with Dak in the off season.
We got our reps in for sure. And the best thing about it, him having a field in his backyard. So anytime I came back home, it was time.
You seen that field?
The Dak yard?
The Dak yard?
Yeah, I have.
It's nice if you can get something like that.
You could get something like that.
I don't think I'd do 40 yards like he could.
I think you
I don't
could.
think I have enough flat ground.
I bet if you got the tractor out, like you could make it flat ground.
I don't think I could, honestly. That's pretty cool. And then the goalposts.
You want to have a project, make it happen?
No, I don't have any desire to do that at all.
You want to do that this weekend?
No, I've got other.
Oh, I'm going to Houston this weekend.
That's darn it.
Or I would do it with you.
What I appreciate about his backyard isn't so much that he has a 40-yard football field, or that it is completely lined and professionally done, but he even has his end zone done. It says Faith, and then it's that the 20 to the 30-yard line midfield. It's got his name.
Yeah.
That's in your backyard.
It's wild. Yeah. Well, listen, man. When you're a big George Michael fan, you put your favorite George Michael song title in the end zone, and
who doesn't love Faith?
Because it gotta have faith.
Can you imagine you call my lawn guy, which is me, you call your lawn guy like, hey, you know what I want you to do this week? I want you to change the paint in my end zone.
Yeah. Come freshen it up.
You'd think he'd put like Mississippi State or maybe like the Cowboys logo or something.
He really
Faith.
likes George Michael. And when he gets tired of hearing, like, that's what plays all the time over the loudspeakers. And when he gets tired of that, he's going to change it to Careless Whisper or Father Figure. One or the other he's going to put out there.
A Father Figure, probably.
That seems like probably the best move. Or maybe, Limp Bizkit covered Faith by George Michael.
Durst did that?
Yeah. And it was a hit for them. And that could be what maybe Dak's a big Limp Bizkit fan. I guess George Michael, but I guess it could be both.
It could be the later iteration.
It could be both. CD, I wanted to know how CD feels now that he's locked into the Dallas Cowboys for 4 years, how much of a priority it is to him to get Dak locked up. Because like I said, he doesn't want to be in the Devontae Adams camp of, oh yeah, I'm signing on to play with X quarterback and now I've got Y quarterback. Like, why the hell is this guy in the league? Here's what CD had to say about the importance of keeping Dak around.
Amazing, bro. If you go look at our numbers together, they're at the top of the charts. And I have no doubt that they're going to get a deal done. And we all know that I want Dak here Jerry wants Dak here too. So let's just get this under control, kill the speculations. Let's go win.
I'm still not totally sure. What's your percentage that you think Dak gets something signed before the season starts? Like, where are you at now?
You know, if you go off, I just don't believe there are a lot of coincidences. And you know, Jerry released this crazy interview with Clarence Hill Jr. of now DLLS.
What does that stand for?
I don't know. And if I knew more about it, I'd give him more plugs. But the brand new site, there was an interview with Clarence, and Jerry, what do you call himself? I'm gonna try to find a quote, but it was self-aggrandizing. He's the best effing GM out there. Nobody could do the things that he has done because of what he's done. That comes
potty mouth that Jerry.
He is, and it comes on he signed his wide receiver to the second highest non-quarterback contract in the history of the league. That kind of stuff. I think he believes that he's chasing Dak, but not for the reason a lot of people other. I think it's more about, I think he believes it could have happened. I do think that Jerry, in his mind, has an offer out there that he, in his mind, believes is acceptable, at least in the short term. It's not, because if it would have been enough, Dak would have already signed. But Dak is not going to give a hometown discount. He's not going to give a long-term, you're my buddy discount. He's done that. So I think Jerry believes it. I think it's possible, but if it was to happen, it would be because Dak blinked, not Jerry.
One of the things that's kind of concerning to me is obviously the Cowboys, nobody's happy. Well, no Cowboys fans are happy with what the end result has been of this group of talent. And when you think about now CD's locked up, and you also consider that CD's been relatively cheap for the last 4 years. And now within sometime in the next 360, maybe 375 days, Micah Parsons is going to become the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of time, more than likely. So you're going to have those two guys, non-quarterbacks, making a ton of money. If you have Dak making a ton of money, how do you improve this roster of what they've had for the last 2 or 3 years and have come up short with? Where's the wiggle room then? Where do you get better is my question.
If they had any money, they'd be paying a running back. That I have no doubt in my mind. If they had any money, the money would be sitting at running back. It wouldn't be on the defensive line. I don't think they'd have paid any more on the offensive line. They drafted there. They knew they were going to spend on CD. They spent money on Brandon Cooks. If they had any money. Now, keep in mind, we're coming into this year because Jerry has not signed Dak to any kind of long-term deal. His cap hit, even though it was adjusted by like $4 or $5 million back in March when they applied some kind of, accounting thing where they applied some salary cap bonus money, whatever, is $55 million against the cap this year. Now it'll go away next year because he's going to be a free agent. This is where Jerry got. We're already here. The roster is assembled. He has his 53-man roster, and he did it with this massive cap hit from Dak. So why would Jerry alter? The roster's done. The season has begun. I didn't get the contract done. He is eating this massive salary cap hit. So Jerry has a deal out there. It doesn't help him now.
Right.
Dak has the offer in front of him. It doesn't help. He can believe it. I think he thinks in his mind it's possible, but it ain't. It's done. Unless something happens in 4 days?
We're running out of time.
But even if he did, where would the money go? Just be money in the pocket. There's nobody else to sign. There's no free agent to go get. You can make a deal, make a trade with a little bit of that gap room, but that's not going to happen once the season begins.
And the truth of the matter is, the longer this plays out and he gets to free agency, the price just goes up. And maybe Dak knows that, and he's banking on that. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Don't forget that we've got tickets to go see 30 Seconds to Mars coming up when we come back right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 and sasportstar.com. Plus, we'll take a look at something a little different. I want to break away from the Dak stuff because Jerry brought up something or was asked something at his press conference as it pertains to sports betting in Texas and how close he thinks it is. Very interesting conversation they had around it on the Blitz earlier today. We'll get into it next right here on Extra Innings with Pledge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
How about them Cowboys? Jim Beam bringing fans together across Cowboys country. We rise as one in Texas in handed down silver and blue jerseys. We come together for America's team every time they take the field. So let's share a round of Jim Beam highballs on game day in Cowboys country. 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2024 James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Made in America. Highest quality. That's Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Connecticut is a wise investment for your home.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it.
It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association.
A Connecticut is made right here in America, has the best warranty in the industry, and is the wise investment for your home. Plus, you can try a Connecticut water system for 90 days absolutely free with no contract.
Call Connecticut of San Antonio at 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's get wild.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com. Appreciate everybody for rolling through tonight. Brent Stacy on our YouTube channel says he has to check out, but appreciates. Earlier today on the Blitz, actually a little bit towards the end of the show, if you missed it, you'll hear it. But Jerry Jones was asked a question when it came to how close he thinks sports betting is to being legal in Texas and if he could see it in the next year to two. And Jason and Joe have a lot of insight when it comes to this with their connections in Las Vegas with Derek Stevens and Mike Palm and the crew at the Circa and other people within the industry. And it's very interesting to kind of hear Jerry Jones talk about, sports betting and how close it could be and really what it all eventually ends up boiling down to.
Think about where things are in the world that we live in when it comes to sports gambling.
Yes.
It wasn't that long that the only guy that you could bet with was Ryan Engel's dad out of the trunk of his car, meeting him at, the Kettle or whatever. What did you guys have there in Alice?
The Kettle. We didn't have a Kettle.
You didn't have Kettle restaurants?
No. My dad was a delivery guy. I mean, because he was a pharmaceutical sales rep, right? So a lot of the pharmacists, back then you didn't have CVS or HEB and stuff like that to go to. They were mom and pop pharmacies. So a lot of the pharmacists gambled with him. And so he, as he made his calls, he could take care of it there.
Never met at the Denny's or anything like that?
Well, with some people he did.
Yeah.
Now with the sheriff of Alice, I don't know where he met him.
Oh,
but he was
the sheriff of Alice,
or Jim Wells County.
Yeah, or Jim Wells County.
Yeah. Because he did. He was a client.
Yeah, of course.
Of my father. Yes,
which is why he was able to get away with everything.
Of course.
That's just like the series I just finished on Netflix. You wouldn't. I'll look at what it was and let you know. It was a good show. But anyway, I digress. I mean, now it was a big deal when teams started allowing gambling companies to advertise.
Yeah.
Whether it was true gambling or fantasy.
Yes.
That was a big deal. More and more states have legal gambling. More states have it than don't have it. And we keep saying, what about Texas? Now, this past weekend when we were at Circa Las Vegas, and you look at Circa where they have opened up in states that are legal and have their app in states that are legal, we ask them, well, what are you hearing about Texas? And the idea that every pro sports team in Texas has a major gambling partner.
That was incredible. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. And they started going through them. And, the idea that the Spurs, for example, are with Bet365. Right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember exactly, but it sounds right. Yes.
Well,
I'm
not overly familiar with them. Well, that's the biggest gambling company in Europe.
Yeah.
I had no idea that they were that big. And then, of course, it's the Spurs. Of course, that's what they have done. Right. And so, because I was asking, like when it becomes legal, when do you guys start getting in? Because, they've got like jersey patches with a couple of teams here and there. And it was like, the well is dry in Texas with the pro sports team because everybody's already
in.
has partnerships in place. And then, of course, our discussion with, I asked the question. So, with Mark Cuban selling, that's a good sign, right? And boy, I learned a lot of things about that company that I didn't know. And then, of course, he's buddies with Tillman Fertitta because they both own casinos next door to each other in Las Vegas. Heard all kinds of things about that. And it's coming. Jerry Jones was asked today, when is it coming, Jerry Jones?
The mind frame of the people is what we're talking about here. And I don't want to sound like a politician, but it is the mindset, the mind frame. And it has to get an order of priority, an order of importance for something like this, because it must be voted on by the citizens of the state of Texas. And so you've got to create a level of importance. And that level of importance sometimes takes some years to establish, or some other visible, tangible, other states doing it, for some states to make that happen. That's a long-winded way of saying that I think ultimately you'll have sports betting in the state of Texas until the state does lose an opportunity for huge amounts of revenue. And I think that properly supervised by the people that play the games and people that have the teams that play the games and the individual athletes, you've got to make sure that the perception is, and the reality is, that there's just no compromising on it all being very competitive and up and up. And I think that takes some time in some places more than it does others.
It's interesting, and I just looked it up. 38 states have some form of legalized sports gambling, which obviously puts Texas in the minority. But Jerry Jones right there, you can tell, I mean, he's losing money. He wants it.
Yep.
Every pro sports team, Spurs, Heat, Rockets, Texans, all of them want it because they'll get more revenue. And he's absolutely right. The state of Texas is missing out on a boatload of tax revenue.
You know, and we had a state senator, Jose Menendez, on the show a year or two ago when we were talking about this. And he did tell us there was a time where what are they called? The groups that, whatever, they would spend a lot of money in Texas, the lobby groups.
Yeah.
To keep gambling out of Texas, Nevada, Louisiana, New Mexico. There are a lot of states that used to spend a lot of money to keep Texas from trying to go with a legalized route. That has changed.
Yes, it has.
Because now these groups are spending money to get it here because they have realized as states have legalized sports betting and gambling that people are still going to Vegas. They're still going to all these casinos, and there's still plenty, right? So whether Texas gets a model with sports gambling, but also the kind of model where you've got, a major casino owned by one in the Dallas area, one in the Houston area, one in the San Antonio area, where it's kind of like what they have just north of the border in Oklahoma, which looks like that might be the way it goes. So every major corporation gets one major and it's not dominated. But one thing that Derek Stevens did tell us, the owner of Circa Las Vegas, on the air a couple months ago when we were having this discussion, by waiting, the state of Texas actually will probably do it better than most states because of the 38 states where it's legal. Some have done a really good job with it, some haven't. And so by waiting, Texas can see what's worked well and what hasn't and come up with a better plan. But it comes out to the politicians involved. And as a consumer, at the very least, put it on the ballot and let voters decide. And if it votes no, I'll be pissed. But hey, if that's what the voters decided, that's why we live in America. That's one of the great things about being America. Right now, you got guys in suits that are making the decision for us.
And he's right. I mean, ultimately, it has to end up at the people, and the ones in charge, the legislators, are the one keeping it from getting to us to let us decide. And I don't know how to change that personally, because I think it's either side that's happening to. It's not one or the other. And this could be good for everybody involved. The sports franchises, us here, the people, and especially for the sport of football or basketball or any sport at large. And I think it's just a major disservice that this is really being kept away from all of us. And it feels, and I won't speak in certainty, but it certainly feels like it's because others are trying to keep it from us by leveraging those in power. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, we'll get back into the quarterback discussions, but not in how you think we will. ESPN had a pretty good list out this morning talking about over and underrated players, and you'd be surprised who's not. That's coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pledge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hey, football fans, Michael Vick here. They say I transformed the quarterback position. The fastest ever, the strongest arm, the most rushing yards. They call me a game changer. I say BetUS.com changed the sports betting game. It started 30 years ago with the industry's biggest bonuses, and they haven't stopped. This football season, get a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Join me at BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino, BetUS, where the game begins.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has 2 great locations, Keebner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it, and they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
Calling all brothers and sisters of the league. Come to 49 Cigars in the village of Stone Oak, Suite 101, where game is always on and cigars are always premium. Enjoy a fine selection of cigars in our unique lounge. And remember, it's BYOB, 49cigars.com.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
This is Jim Rome, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, spacesportstar.com. I appreciate everybody for rolling through tonight. We get back into the quarterback discussion, but ironically, not involving Dak Prescott for the most part, as ESPN released a list, voted on by the players, of different categories of quarterbacks, the best, the top 3, or who you think they are. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and number 1 with a bullet is Patrick Mahomes, trash talkers, etc., etc. But they also got into the most overrated and underrated quarterbacks in the NFL, and Dakota Prescott not on this list. And the Morning Huddle guys broke it down.
Most overrated quarterback. This one, it was a close race. The top guy got 11 votes. The next 2 both got 10. And then behind him, it was 9. But the leader, the champion, most overrated quarterback, they said too many turnovers. This is becoming an issue. Allen's 102 turnovers lead the NFL since the start of the 2008 season. But he's made 2 Pro Bowls. He's been to the postseason 5 times in 6 years. It's not bad. The other 2 that got 10 votes, so tied for second, Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. How do you feel about those 3 guys as overrated?
I don't know what you're thinking about with Josh Allen. I think that he's a victim of a issue that he's kind of overcome. Yeah, he throws some interceptions, but not like he did Hurts had a whole offense built around him. I think we found out more about who he is more than he let us down. The interesting one here is Tua. Because he was ridiculously successful in that offense when he's healthy. I mean, the numbers don't lie. And I think this is more about system maybe than
it's funny because the reason why Josh Allen is in here is so different from the reason why Hurts and Tua are in here.
Yeah, very right.
Because Hurts and Tua, and one of the players said, how hard is it to throw jump balls to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith?
It is hard. I'm sorry. It's like getting mad at Pat Riley for rolling the ball out to. Yes, there's a skill to it.
But how hard is it to put the ball in Tyreek Hill's hands and say go?
Well, yeah, but there's still a skill to it. I mean, we didn't take anything away from Pat Mahomes when he was throwing to him. We didn't say, Pat's not that good. It was all Tyreek. He goes to Miami and suddenly it's all him and not Tua. I don't, by the measure, it should be, is Tua as good as Pat Mahomes?
Remember what we saw of Tua before he had Tyreek Hill.
No, I agree with it. That I found it interesting because I don't think no matter what Tua does, he'll never overcome the fact that he is undersized in an offense that was built only for him. I mean, you just feel like you better be damn successful. The one that isn't on either one of these lists, either over or under, is Dak.
No,
I found when I saw the most
rated.
Overrated quarterback, I thought, here we go. Where's Dak going to land on that?
Here we go.
Here we go. Where's he going to land? Fourth? Not even in the top 5 of the most overrated.
Nope.
Not anywhere near the underrated either, but certainly not in the top 5.
Appropriately rated.
Defining Dak Prescott.
Other top vote getters for overrated, Justin Herbert got 9 votes.
I'm still upset with the people angry with him.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. But I'll tell you what, this year is the turning point. If it doesn't work out this year, then I'm with you. But right now, he's neither over nor under. He's right where he should be.
This year, boy, if he does something this year, I'm going to be more impressed with him than ever because this is a garbage roster that he's got.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin Eckler's gone. You don't have a running game anymore. That you lost all of your wide receivers. The Chargers have drafted poorly at wide receiver. Quentin Johnson's a bum. So if he can do anything with this crop, then I'm impressed.
Or he's going to turn into Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence got 8 votes. Deshaun Watson got 7. Kyler Murray and Brock Purdy both got 6. Now, it's funny that Brock Purdy got 6 votes on the most overrated list because he also was tied for first on the most underrated list. Obviously Mr. Irrelevant to get to where to be in the Super Bowl is pretty incredible, but who he's tied with is kind of odd because it's the total opposite end of the spectrum. Matt Stafford.
In your heart, in your mind, where do you put Purdy? I mean, legitimately. I mean, we know the story of all the stuff, and we've seen him enough now. We know his skill set.
I think if you shuffled up all the quarterbacks off the teams that they're in, like you did a full league redraft, Brock Purdy for one season, like if it was just a one season thing, Brock Purdy would be maybe the 15th or 16th quarterback taken, maybe.
I think he more than Tua
is a
product of Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
He is Kyle Shanahan's Frankenstein, which is awesome.
But if you take him and put him on the Giants, it ain't good.
It ain't good. And the reason I believe that, and is Garoppolo.
Yeah,
because even Shanahan couldn't make anything of Garoppolo, but we saw what Garoppolo was.
Went to a freaking Super Bowl.
Well, but it was. There was repeated efforts. They thought he would get better. There's a reason why Purdy's here. But once he left that friendly confine and landed with the Raiders, oh my God.
Yeah.
So that was the worst thing that could have happened to Brock Purdy, because now, I don't think he's any more physically talented than Garoppolo. Neck up, he is. I think they got the same arm. I think Garoppolo's just terrible at being a starting quarterback. I think of all of them, he is overrated. I think they're right.
I think Pat McAfee said it best.
I'm done with the Brock Purdy slander.
People are going to have their opinions, though. And, J4 on our YouTube chat says Lamar Jackson's the most overrated, the 2-time MVP. Look, every quarterback is somewhat a product of a system. Some can thrive in some systems, some can't. Some find one they're great at, and they take it where they go, like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. But to think that what Brock Purdy's done is to be cheapened because of the talent he plays with. There are a lot of guys in that system, including Trey Lance, that had all those same weapons that could make it work. We've got tickets to go see 30 Seconds to Mars. They are coming to the Germania Insurance Amphitheater up in Austin this Friday. And I've got tickets to send you if you are caller number 5 right now at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Remember, if you don't win your tickets, you can get them at livenation.com. I appreciate all of y'all for rolling through tonight. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. Remember, check on your loved ones. You never know what they're going through. A simple text can do a lot more than you realize. And remember, we'll see you tomorrow, right here, same time, same channel, same YouTube on 941 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, this is Congressman Joaquin Castro. Here in Military City, USA, we're proud to stand by our veterans. Every year, my office is honored to help